morning, Martin Va, Cymru Hashif. Welcome to Island at the Edge. As Lady Diane just said, I'm Yasmin. And this is my store and this is my croft. I'm a crofter. And that means I raise sheep and cows and donkeys. And we breed the sheep specifically for their wool. So what we have is a range of different kinds of yarns. And we tend to err on the side of tradition. So we have the very rare oiled Aran, which is a thick wool with the lanolin still in. We have your regular double knit, and we also have the lesser known or lesser available Hebridean 5-ply worsted, which is a combed wool. I think you might call it lace fingering across in the US. It kind of knits up to a 4-ply, but we use that specifically for Guernsey or Guernsey knitting. So it's a nice close wool and has 5 plies in one strand.
Awesome. And can you tell us a little bit about this one if I take you over to the corner
Guernsey.
here, the Scanzi?
Yeah, certainly can. So this is a traditional knit Fisherman Scanzi. This is knitted with the gentleman, this lovely boy up here, his very first fleece. Sadly he's no longer with us, but he lives on in a portrait that a friend made for me. To your left there's a traditional blue Guernsey. So this is what they made down in Englandshire, and this again is hand knitted in the round, and as you can see it has no motifs on, whereas when you look at the west coast, or certainly the Scottish and northeastern one, it has lots of motifs. Some say that historically that they would use all these motifs to denote who the person was, and that would therefore be used as identification, sadly, should they end up overboard. But it was also used for employment. So it was a bit like wearing your CV, and I think that that's just fantastic.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So we knit these in the round traditionally on 5 knitting needles. We supply packs, and we also knit them to commission for the discerning customer. They are numbered, and we are starting to be coming with a certificate of authentication, and we design them for people like physicists and you name it. As long as there's a maritime theme in there, we can knit them up for people.
Oh, that's fantastic. And would you mind telling our audience about your story about coming home?
Well, it's interesting. Who do you think you are and who you are really might be two very, very different things. So I'm a Northumbrian. I take Northumbrian sometimes, but nobody can understand what I'm talking about. So I tend to posh it down a little bit, and people say I sound like a posh Geordie. If you come from the northeast, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. Anyway, about 4 years ago, Trevor and I did our DNA tests, and it came back that I was Scottish and Irish and a bit of English. And then we had an update last year, and it came about that I'm 78% Scottish, the rest of me is Irish, and there's not a drop of Northumbrian blood in my veins. But here's the thing. A cousin contacted me, and it turns out that I'm a MacLeod, and actually I'm standing on the croft that my forebears owned a few hundred years ago. Across the loch there is where some of my family are buried. They also built Grecianish House Hotel, which is also on the other side of the loch, and they were involved with Guestore Hospital down in the village here of Edinbane. So who do you think you are? And who are you really? You need to have a little look. It's fascinating.
Oh, thank you so much, Yasmin. That was just amazing. I love the story. And can I show them around the store and then introduce them to Solace?
Yes.
This place is beautiful. It's got some stuff from other local artists as well. And this croft, you do tours, don't you?
We do.
Right round the croft. It's like a 2-hour tour, you said, wasn't it? Look at some of these yarns, they're beautiful.
The grey sweater that you're just filming there now is very, very unique. Again, that's another of my own designs. It is expensive because I can only produce one of those a year if I'm lucky, and that's because the black Cheviot sheep is the only one that has this quality of fleece. She's a black Cheviot, but like the best of us, she's gone a bit grey with a little bit of age, and so it's hand spun and hand knitted, and there's nearly 700 hours of work in that.
Wow.
It's very heavy, but boy, will that not half keep out the cold weather. Now the pattern is known as the Killoran, and that's because it is based on a film called I Know Where I'm Going, which is a 1947 film. Recommend you have a little peep at that. And when we lived on Colonsea, before we moved here, my sheep used to graze on Killoran Bay. So I researched the film, which was about Colonsea, and came up with this design to represent the chains of married life that were represented in the film.
Oh wow! So that's the story behind those links.
Yeah.
So everything here has meaning. It's just wonderful. And this is the Nicholson outfit. It's just wonderful. So much here. Look at all of these. Oh, absolutely wonderful. And you may notice that there's a young man sitting outside guarding his territory. I'm going to bring him in to meet you. We're at Edinbane Pottery. That's edinbane-pottery.co.uk, and they do post abroad if you're interested in anything here. They have such a huge variety, and there's a very large shop here in Edinbane, which is quite near to Dunvegan. We're on our way to Pottery today as well, so it's a beautiful place. And just look at some of these things. So that's edinbane-pottery.co.uk. Such a variety. Look at these lamps. They're beautiful. These great big tankards here, aren't they gorgeous? Love these goblets. Just beautiful. I'll walk you through the rest of the shop now because it's rather big. So you've got some spice jars there as well. Absolutely beautiful. Look at those colours. Wow. Look at all these fabulous lamps. Jugs and all kinds of things. Oh, look at the little round boat. Isn't that beautiful? Here you can see the work in progress. And there's another room yet. Oh, look at these. These are very pastel colours. Just stunning. These are beautiful. And the last room through here. You could spend hours in here looking. It's beautiful. And you can even get some pottery made, a mug with your name on it. So they take orders for name mugs and house numbers. So you could get one of these with your name on it. Or your age for a special birthday. Simply fabulous.
Hello, welcome to the shop. This is the head of Loch Snizard, the longest sea loch in the Isle of Skye, and I've got my little bookshop here. It's full of all kinds of stuff. If you're interested in old leather-bound rarities, you can find plenty here, but also more modern books on Scotland, the Highlands, science fiction, science, geology. It's quite a small shop. More a book room than a shop, but it's there's a lot of interesting stuff that you won't find on the internet, and try and keep the prices very cheerful as well.
Fantastic. Could you tell us your website?
Well, I have a shop on eBay, which is a Gillespie Ferguson Rare Books, and also a similar site on Abe Books. I don't actually have a website as such, but.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to just have a little wander around the store, if that's okay.
Please.
This place is fabulous. We've just bought some wonderful books, which we're going to show you when we get back to the caravan, including one rather old one on Bonnie Prince Charlie. This is the Jacobite section here. If you come to Skye, this is definitely a good place to visit. It's 6 miles north of Pottery by the Skibost. Skibost Hotel, is it?
Yeah, the Skibost Country House Hotel. We're just in the grounds of the hotel actually, and it's fairly easy to find. There are signs on the main road.
Fantastic.
And as long as I'm home, I'm open.
So yeah, give him a wee call just to check that he's home before you come down. This is an absolute treasure trove. Very, very glad we managed to get a visit in here, because you aren't officially open yet, are you?
No, I was thinking of opening near the end of May, because most of the footfall I have starts at the end of May through to September. So, but like I say, even as long as I'm home, sometimes people come when I'm in the middle of dinner, and I don't mind. People can welcome to browse anytime.
Oh, that's fabulous!
Yes.
And check out these books at the back here. So we've posted the website or information. If you fancy having a look at any books, we'll give you the links so that you can purchase. Gill does post abroad. Here we have one of the books that we bought from Gill on the Isle of Skye, Prince Charles Edward by Andrew Lang. And you can see that the book is a very large one. It's also a very thick book. Now I'm going to take you inside the book to explore. If you come down here, you can see that this book was printed in 1900 in Princes Street in Edinburgh. And there's even more interesting facts in here, because if you come over this side, you will see that there was only 1,500 copies of this book printed, and we have number 354. So let's take you on a little journey through the book. Beautiful illustration at the start of the book, and throughout the book there are illustrations that have been protected by this very fine paper. So this is Bonnie Prince Charlie, aged 5. And the book has quite a few letters that he wrote throughout his life. It has copies of them. Here's one of them. Dear Papa. Isn't that wonderful? So this is a letter from Prince Charles when he was 8 years old to his father. And here you can see more beautiful illustrations. So this is the kind of book that Gill sells in his shop on the Isle of Skye, and which you can order online.
Welcome to Ian Williams' gallery in Scabost on the Isle of Skye. You're looking now at my wife's photography, Gill Williams, and you'll see the Aurora Borealis, and that happens regularly, particularly when it's dark, although it'll happen when it's light, but you don't see it. She does masses of underwater photography, which there are lots of examples. Here you'll see her autobiography, which is available on Amazon and shipped to America. Gill was honoured by the Queen for her work in relation to the first police woman officer in the country to take on the lead with search and recovery and identifying bodies. And then she went to Thailand and established an orphanage there. So that's Gill's work.
Wow.
And then as you pan around, you'll see my work. I work in both oils and acrylics, inspired obviously by our environment, which is the Isle of Skye and the Highlands, and wildflowers. I love wildflowers, and you can see a selection of wildflowers there. And then my book again, which is available from Amazon and also in America, Great Stories Badly Written. It just offers you an insight into possibly somebody who's a little bit barking mad. I love to watch our friends who live on Skye. You might have heard of Skye sea salt. Well, this is Meena dancing. She's Indian and she runs the Bollywood dancers on Skye.
Wow.
My watercolours, you can see, again, I'm inspired by Nepal, and the top piece is Chungha, which is the third highest mountain on the planet, and that's watercolour.
Wow.
And then as you pan round, you'll see some of my sculptures, ceramics, and a lot of the work I mount on bogwood, which is between 5,000 and 6,000 years old.
And so that's this wood here.
That's it, yes.
These are fabulous.
So these are the leaping times. If you look out of the window, you'll see the River Snizort, and that's where you'll see the salmon leaping. And the tide comes right up to our garden, where we go swimming regularly.
Wow. How's that for a view? Just stunning.
And so I work in sculpture. I throw on the potter's wheel and cast, as you'll see, my penguins, which are more familiar in other parts of the world, perhaps not on Skye.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Those pieces are inspired by underwater, and of course you can see then the turtle on bogwood.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love your colours, very bright and vibrant.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful. And Gill's photography is the same. There's a lot of vibrancy in this room.
Yeah, well,
isn't
Skye
there?
is colour.
Yeah, it is. That's for sure. Oh, octopus. Oh, wow, look at her.
And the little pinch pots. And then, of course, you've got porcelain, stoneware, earthenware, and I paint the words on the stones, which have a lot of meaning to other people.
Oh, look at these. These are beautiful. So delicate, but so beautiful.
And I ship all over the world. I'm part of a group called the Highland Hiddle, and they've got all of our shipping. There's the Highland cow that you'll see many of them over here.
Our audience love the Highland Coo.
Yeah, I shall go and get you the latest original I've just done. Got the Highland Coo.
Oh, that's beautiful. Is
Isn't it?
that a watercolour?
This is watercolour, slightly abstracted. I wanted to see why artists flick paint on things, and so I did, and I realised they do it because it's fun. But there's the chap himself. He is a magnificent Highland bull and lives that way. So it was a joy to see him. And here's another resident. We have this amazing heron that comes and sits in the garden and rests and fishes for his fish. So
you capture them so well, Ian.
thank you. And so you can have prints of any of my work. They're all available online. And feel free to visit my Facebook page. It's Ian Williams, Artist Skye. And if you're ever over here, please pop in and have a cup of tea or coffee.
Fantastic, thank you so much. This is a really beautiful place to come and visit, guys. And here he's got plenty of the prints, so he's Highland Coo. And
This is where it happens.
oh, awesome! See, we're getting to see behind the scenes.
Here's the latest piece out of the kiln. It's stoneware. It's my grandmother's lace, which has been pressed into clay, and it's for taking Skye sea salt in where a shell has been pressed in. So the idea is you hand it round.
What a fantastic thing! And of course, Skye's salt is not far from here, is it?
No. It's very, very available, and it's a beautiful product. It's just like eating a scallop.
Oh wow! Oh, there's some lace there. Look.
Yes, that's my grandmother's lace.
Oh, thank you so much, Ian.
Welcome.
That was really, really kind of you.
Very welcome. Nice to see you.